There's a nondescript building in a rather nondescript office park off 441 just outside Rochester. And in that building, a man whose voice has entertained us for decades, but his talent extends well beyond his pipes. Tonight, I interview Ferdinand J. Smith.
And again?
Ferdinand J. Smith was born into broadcasting.
My father did live commercials. He actually used to do many of them at Channel 8, and I would go with him. And I was like 5, maybe 6 years old.
He broke into the business while at McQuaid.
At 15, I got my first job at SAY.
Then to WAC in Newark, then WBBF. It was all music all the time.
I mean, I knew Chuck when he was playing at the Xerox down at the bar below Xerox. That's how long I've known the Mangione brothers.
Music remains a significant part of J Advertising, the business he founded in 1973. Countless talented musicians have played in his Rochester studio, including many from around here.
At that upper echelon, is Rochester well known?
A lot of great players went to the Eastman. They just saluted Lou Soloff at the Hall of Fame. Lou Soloff played on our CBS Movie of the Week open.
How many of us remember that? Just one of many nationally known jingles to come from the mind of Ferdinand J. Smith.
How do you approach a jingle?
I hear them in my head. I'm a head writer. Not that I compare myself with them, but the Beatles were head writers. They didn't write out music.
All right, let's talk about the big one, HBO in space. How did that happen?
Well, I'll tell you. It's an interesting story. Michael Fuchs, who was chairman of the board, and the same man I worked with on CBS, Tony Lover, we were pumping this stuff out now. I played a piano demo for Michael, and he said, oh, gee, it sounds like a Jewish wedding march. I said, just hear it orchestrated. And I used the Rochester Philharmonic, and I actually ended up doing the finals post-production in L.A.
One thing you realize shortly after meeting Smith is he's met a lot of famous people. A lot. Perhaps none more famous than the pop star he once worked down the hall from in New York City, Michael Jackson.
He was a very, very nice young man. I mean, he gave me autographs for my kids and couldn't have been a nicer person. He was a handsome kid. He really was. He looked like a gazelle when he walked. He was so fluid, you know.
Despite his wide circle, Smith still lives in Rochester. Yes, he was born into broadcasting, but he was raised here, and here is home.